I saw a picture the other day. This girl posted a picture and she was like, I'm with my day one. And I was like, that's beautiful. If you got a friend that you have been friends with like that from the beginning and you guys have evolved and grown together over decades, that's amazing. But if I had to pick between a day one or a real one, I want a real one. Sometimes you don't always grow with people you started with. I want a day 365. Not somebody I got to speak to every day, not somebody I got to see every day, but somebody I know I can call at any day of the year and they're going to be there. That's it. Cawfee Talk. Good morning, everybody. This is Cawfee Talk with Tara Cannistraci. It's a new podcast where we consume a cup of coffee together, and in that time, I talk to you about some things that are on my mind, and I give you guys the opportunity to get to know me better. I am so grateful for the audience. I have curated, sorry, I haven't had this cup of coffee yet. I can't speak well. That I've curated over the course of the last few years. I'm so grateful for you guys, your support of my comedy, of my show Boroughbreds. So I figured this would be an even better opportunity for you guys to really get to know me on a personal level. So let's start with our cup of coffee. Right now I'm having, it's going to sound very white of me, I'm going to have a little bit of almond milk and cinnamon in my cup of coffee this morning. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's very relevant to me now in my 40s. Oh, I admitted my age. No, I'm very proud. I think women get better as they get older. No offense, guys. I love you. I love you guys. You kind of shit the bed at 18, though. And we just keep getting better. But I realize that the older we get, the more value I have on certain friendships. And really, it's about quality over quantity in so many aspects of my life now. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, everybody who has even taken the time out to listen to me talk for 10 minutes over a cup of coffee, we all got things to do, places to be. And we have to realize that time is our biggest commodity. And we have to be really selective about who we spend that time with. And I find that being an Italian from the Bronx who is fiercely loyal, I am driven by that like fierce loyalty that I have, that sometimes that's like an Achilles heel. Sometimes being so fiercely loyal has hurt more than it's helped because I've been loyal to people way longer than I should have been, to a point where it kind of just, I was the only person getting hurt in the situation. I think I pride myself on maintaining my relationships with friends I've had from childhood, especially now that, let's face it, that I have a lot more eyes on me, that maybe people are seeing me in a different light, that I'm a comedian, that I have all these platforms. I don't want people to think I've changed. I don't want people to think I think I'm too good for their friendships. And the reality of the situation is it has nothing to do with that. Every single person, I don't care if you're a comedian, a construction worker, a hairdresser, a doctor, we all evolve. Every single person listening to this podcast is not the same person they were when they were 34, 24, 14. Sometimes we have friendships for that long. And let me tell you something. It's a beautiful thing when you do. I saw a post the other day, and it was a girl posting a picture with her day one. And it really got me thinking, if you are lucky enough to have a friendship like that you have grown with that person through the years, that's beautiful. But I got to thinking, there's a difference between having a day one versus having a real one. And if I had to choose between the two, I want a real one. I want a day 365, not somebody I got to speak to every day of the year, not somebody I got to see every day of the year, but somebody I got to know I can pick up that phone and call them no matter what's happening in my life. I could not speak to them for 3 weeks and I can call them and say, I'm having a horrible day. I need to speak to somebody. I'm having a problem, or something great just happened for me. I haven't spoken to you in 3 weeks, but I just got this wonderful thing happen to me and they're going to be so happy for me. They're not going to care that we didn't just speak for 3 weeks. Friendships should need less maintenance at this time in our lives. And it's not to say that you can't have a day one friend that has that, but it's okay to say, I've outgrown somebody. Again, it doesn't mean that you're better than that person, but sticking around in friendships, in any relationship that you've outgrown is not healthy. And I know that some of us experience, or at least I can say for personally, I've experienced feeling really guilty about outgrowing relationships. One happened to me in 2020. It was during the middle of the pandemic. Nothing was going on for anybody. And I got a really rare opportunity to go to California in that June. And a friend that I grew up with in the Bronx had called me to just say hi or check in. And I said, oh my God, I'm actually in Beverly Hills right now. I'm walking. I got this great opportunity. And she said on the phone to me, she said, oh, I just called you do you remember that time? And she brought up a really ugly time in my life, a time that I would not be proud of. And I knew in that moment she was doing that to me because she was like, don't think you're better than anyone because of where you are right now. And I know that she did that intentionally because I knew the friend that she was all the years before that. I just accepted it. And in this moment, I just didn't accept it anymore. And when I hung up the phone with her, I think I put my hands on my face and cried like a little girl because I knew in that very moment I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't allow somebody to do what she had just done to me. And I felt so guilty because I knew in that moment I was never going to speak to her again. That's a really strong action, but it had been years of somebody just it never feeling right in my stomach. Why don't we trust that feeling in our gut, guys? I don't care who it's with. You got to trust that feeling that you know something's not right for you. And listen, I've outgrown friends that didn't have mean intentions. I'm not saying every relationship you outgrow has to be because the person did something wrong to you. You could just outgrow being friends with somebody. It happens. I always say this, if I have to pick up the phone and do this with my voice. Hi, how are you? How's everything? How's the family? No. You are an acquaintance at that point. I don't ever, if I don't do, and I don't have time for, none of that. No phony. There's nothing phony. I'm going to pick up the phone and go, hey, what's going on? Are you crazy with the kids? Tell me what's going on in your life. How's your father? He was sick, blah, blah, blah. Talk to you for 15 minutes, catch up on your life as if no time has passed. That's the kind of friendship and the only type of friendship I have in my life today and any day after this. So it was just something that was really prevalent and on my mind and something I had kind of been dealing with. And I know that is something the rest of us, or the rest of you, I should say, are probably going through because it happens. It happens at all different times in our life. We evolve. I think I kept using that word, but it's for a reason. And again, it doesn't mean, like I said, that we think that we're better. It means that we have to just do what's best for us. So it's a pretty heavy morning coffee talk, but I think it was an important talk. And again, I can't reiterate enough, just be true to yourself. Listen to that gut. When you feel that feeling in your gut, there's a reason why it's there, guys. And remember, yes, it's beautiful to be loyal. Yes, it's beautiful to try and maintain relationships in your life. But the person that has to come first is you. It's not being selfish. I'm going to use that silly, it's not silly, it's actually really brilliant, that analogy when you're on the plane, how you gotta use the mask to save yourself before you can help somebody else with their mask. That's it in life at this point. We all want to thrive. We're all just surviving. It's okay. It's okay to say, this is what's best for me first, and then I can get to you. That was it. That was my morning coffee talk. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. I'd love to know what you're thinking about this. I'd love to know if there are other topics. I know I wasn't particularly funny, or I'm not going to be particularly funny in all of these episodes, but I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be as true to you guys as possible, as raw, as open, as honest. I'll probably say some things about myself that I don't like, some insecurities, some things about my past, about my childhood that I haven't spoken about openly or even joked about on stage. But that's what this is for, just to connect with you guys over a cup of coffee. Have a great day. Cawfee Talk.